I'm Jamie, aka Peace Love Eat. Today I'll be teaching you how to create my original recipe for turkey burgers. Now I'm going to show you the ingredients that you need to use for this recipe before I start cooking. Egg beaters. These are easier to use than eggs because you don't have to whisk it. The shredded mozzarella cheese, which I got the 2% milk from. This is the breadcrumbs, the baby portobello mushrooms. Then we have the ground turkey, the Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, also finally the whole wheat buck. You could also use different things for toppings for your burger, like lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, ketchup, mustard, basically any of that. But you could also use any type of cheese. It doesn't even matter if it's reduced fat, it just makes it so much better. Now I'm going to show you how to create your mix for your turkey burgers. So here's the ground turkey, and I'm going to put it into the bowl. Here's a very important thing that you need to know. When you're touching raw meat or eggs, you have to wash your hands after. If not, there's a possible chance of getting salmonella, which is a type of food poisoning that could really affect your body. Now, I've already touched it while taking it out. Right now, I need to wash my hands. This tablecloth serves for two different things. One, it keeps bacteria off of your food and your countertops, and also gets all the crumbs, and then you can just throw it away right after, and it's so much easier. First, I'm going to use the egg beaters and only use 1/3 of a cup. So let's pour that in here and just spill it down. Next, I'm going to use the breadcrumbs. It's okay if you use the same measuring cup because it's all going in the same bowl. Next, I'm going to put 1/3 a cup of mozzarella cheese. I suggest buying the shredded version of the cheese because this makes the whole process a lot easier. Just pour that in there. It's okay if it falls out. Just gonna put a little bit. You might want to use a little bit more. So you're just gonna, oh, look at that. You have to put your seasonings. This makes the whole entire flavor all combine better, and it makes everything just turn out so much better. So you're gonna use your Italian seasoning. You're just gonna sprinkle a little bit up there. You could use your pepper. Make sure not to put too much pepper. If you put too much pepper, the flavor could really impact the whole thing and kind of change it. Now, what I usually do is I take the salt and see how much that is. I sprinkle it like this, so it gets everywhere, but also so I'm not using too much. Next, I'm gonna teach you how to chop up your mushrooms. You want them to be a little bit small, so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna cut them all up like this, and you're just gonna pour it into your cup. You're gonna be using about 2/3 of a cup, and you know what? You don't even have to chop it. You could just rip it apart like this. Makes everything so much easier. Now, if you bought bigger mushrooms that aren't the baby bell mushrooms, then what you could do is if you got the slices, you could slice it up into about this size. But if you got the whole entire mushroom, take out the gills, which are these little black things, and then you're going to chop it up like this. Make sure to always pull out the stem, because if you don't, then that's a very hard part of the mushroom and it doesn't make it taste as good. I'm just gonna put it in here. Now I have to mix it all together. You have to use your hands for this, so you're gonna have to wash your hands after. Now there's one thing I noticed about these turkey burgers. As I was mixing it, I put a little bit too much egg. When this happens, you're gonna wanna put more breadcrumbs in. This combines it all together, and then it won't really fall apart. Now let's say it was too dry, you would put a little bit more egg in there. So once again, I'm gonna have to mix it up again with my hands, but that's okay because it's just gonna turn out even better now. Just gonna pour some of that in there. I'm just gonna mix it up again. Now, when they're the right consistency, you really see that nothing really sticks to your hand. Now I need to show you how to make the patties. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a blob like this, just gonna pat it in between, maybe combine all of this together. You're just gonna squish it all together, and you're gonna pat it. You're gonna wanna round it with your hands and pat again. You're gonna do this for each patty until each one looks like a really good circle and is about the thickness you want. If it's too thin, it's gonna fall apart when you sear it, but if it's too thick, then it might take a while to cook. So you want it to be about this thick. You just plop it down on that plate and you're gonna do the next one and the next one. Each package of turkey meat that you use will be about 5 burgers. If you realize that your last burger is a little bit big, you just take a glob of it, put it on here, and then just flatten it into the burger. Maybe rub it in so then it really combines. Now that I've washed my hands and I've already made the patties, I'm just gonna quickly spray the pan, turn it up to high, and get started. With the patties all ready to be cooked. I'm gonna set these patties to the side and I'm just gonna wait for that, and I'm also gonna preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Now you can hear this nice sear going onto the burger, but you don't want to flip it yet, because even though you hear it being cooked, that doesn't mean it's ready. If you flip it too quickly, the whole thing is going to fall apart and it's not going to work out. Wait about 2 to 4 minutes and you're going to see the bottom of the burger getting a little bit more brown. Then you can check it and then you're going to see brown, you flip it right away. Now you don't need to wait for the middle to be cooked, because then you're going to pop this right into the oven. Now you have to turn the heat down, because you can see smoke rising, you can see the oil kind of getting a little bit more brown, but you don't want these burgers to burn. Now pan searing it makes it the moisture stay in the burger. And that's why instead of just putting them in the oven first, I do this. This helps all the moisture just be collected into the burger and it makes it really good after. That took a little bit quicker than I thought. You really want to wait 2 minutes for each side. Now, as you can see, my handle is right there. So if, let's say I was walking and all of a sudden I hit the handle, that could mean everything could go wrong. The whole pan could flip over. I could get burned. I don't want that to happen. So when it's cooking and you're not actually doing anything, make sure to keep the handle this way so you don't really get hurt. I put the heat on low or off because right now it's really cooking, but you have to put tin foil on your pan. You want to fold the edges, and then you have to use your pan once again, and you're going to spray it just so then when you take off the burgers, it doesn't stick. This is very important because if it sticks, it won't turn out very good. Well, these burgers are ready, so I'm going to take my spatula. I'm just going to quickly put it here. See how easy it was to take it off? Well, that's mostly because of the pan. You have to make sure you use that almost every time you cook. Or you could also use butter, but in this case, I suggest using the oil. I just need to pop these in the oven. It hasn't hit 350 yet, but that's okay, it's still hot. Now be careful of your fingers when you're putting it in here, because you do not want to burn yourself. Just carefully put it in, and just close the oven door, and you're gonna wait about 10 to 15 minutes. You have to put them on a timer, so use your kitchen timer. If you have a little handheld one or the one in your oven, you could just click 10, start. Even if they're not ready then, at least you know that they're almost ready. So at about the 10-minute point, check on them, and then maybe check at 15 minutes too. Now these burger buns are a little small, but that's okay. Because now I need to toast them up, so then the moisture of the burger does not sog up this whole entire bun. Now while this is happening, I want to show you what you can do to your burger if you want. Now here's some tomato and here's some lettuce. Now you don't need to put this on. This doesn't really count as the 7 ingredients, but it depends on what your family or whoever you're serving this to likes. You could also use ketchup, mustard, onions, or basically anything that you would really put on your normal burger. A few crumbs here, some mushroom scraps over there, and a little piece of tomato. Now, as I said earlier, this is so much easier to clean up everything, and I really don't need this to prepare my burger. So I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly fold it like that, and roll it up, and boom, your cleanup is done. All you need to do is throw it away. We're at the 18 to 20 minute point now, and they're completely cooked. So I already turned off the oven, and now you have to use an oven mitt to take this out. Even though the oven's off does not mean it's not hot. Everything in here is still hot. So you're gonna use an oven mitt, and you're just gonna place it right here. And look at that, all the juices is spread out. It's gorgeous. There's a nice sear on the top, and it's absolutely perfect. Now before I get started preparing my burger, I'm gonna put it on the plate. So I'm gonna put this on the plate. And I like to use cheese on my burgers because I think it adds an extra flavor. Even though there's already cheese inside the burger, doesn't mean you can taste it that much because cheese is not an overpowering flavor. So I usually use reduced fat provolone cheese on here. I just lay it on top, and I'm gonna pop this in the microwave because who doesn't like a burger with melted cheese? Put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. Now you're just gonna leave these to the side. Maybe you prepare the rest later, or if you're preparing this for your family, do it all at once. Now here I have my toasted burger bun, my tomato, and my lettuce. Remember, you could use whatever you want on here, but I suggest using those type of things. So, now that the cheese is more melted and the burger is reheated, I'm going to place it right on top of this bottom bun. Now, yes, it is hot. Don't think that it's not just because it came out of the oven and the oven was off. It is still extremely hot. I'm going to put some tomato on it, a few pieces of lettuce, and then I'm going to put the top one on. Look at this beautiful burger. You see the different layers here. It's completely cooked. It's absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Now here's next week's recipe that is a fall and Halloween theme. Now don't forget to subscribe. Peace, love, eat.